This is why I love the stock market. So Trump threatens to cut off cooking oil with China, and it actually has an effect on the market. So he said, I believe that China purposefully not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile act. And I always try to find a way to turn news into something actionable. So he's signaling a potential ban. He's framing it as a new front in an ongoing US-China tension. The move could disrupt supply chains and create price volatility. The bottom line here is that it's not just cooking oil. It's another sign that the tensions are still shaky. How do you play it? So for traders, this is essentially a geopolitical risk event, and it could put pressure on agricultural commodity prices. And there are some stocks that are heavily involved with exporting to China. So the move might be to find a soybean company, soy you can trade. Markets have already priced in a little bit of China friction, but a threat like this and a specific threat like this can have a knee-jerk reaction. So you got to keep your eye open for that. There are companies that trade these soybeans. There are companies that are directly impacted by international Chinese tariffs and trades and all that stuff. So if he cuts off cooking oil,
is the market gonna bump or is it gonna dump?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we break down the latest political circles, one chaotic act at a time. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe, and equally tap the notification bell so you don't miss out any of the madness happening in the world of American politics. Now, let's dive into today's headline. Trump threatens to stop buying cooking oil from China. Yeah, you heard that right. The man who can't stop stirring political drama now wants to stir-fry the global economy.
Did Trump just crash the market again? This time over cooking oil and soybeans? So this afternoon on Truth Social, Trump posted this, that he believes China is purposely not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for the farmers, and threatened that America will start producing its own cooking oil. He made this threat around 2:37 p.m. and the markets took a dump. This is a chart of the S&P 500, and we can see around 2:44 p.m. the S&P 500 erased around $450 billion of market cap. So maybe Trump needs to stop posting on social media so the markets will stop dumping. But what is the bigger picture? I think if this trade war continues or escalates, that the markets could possibly dump more. But I think we need to wait tomorrow and see what Xi Jinping's response is to this. Do you think that this was an overcorrection or a warning sign for what's coming next? Let me know in the comments.
This is breaking news. Donald Trump continues to erode our foreign relationship with trade with China. Now he's announcing that he wants to stop certain trade deals like cooking oils because we can produce our own. Here is the Truth Social post. And I quote, I believe that China purposefully is not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile act. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of trade as retribution. As an example, we can easily produce cooking oil ourselves. We don't need to purchase it from China. You're probably wondering, yeah, no big deal. We can make our own. But believe it or not, we imported approximately 1.27 million metric tons of used cooking oil from China in 2024, which represented significant, I think over half of what China exports throughout the year. Or actually, no, it's right there at the bottom. That's my bad. 43%. This comes after Trump threatened a 100% additional tariff on rare earth materials to China. And this is after Donald Trump was offended by a secret meeting between Ping, the Indian leadership, and of course, Vladimir Putin, where they were making trade deals behind his back. And this is the energy that he brings, retribution, and of course, any sort of get back that he can do. That is the news. We will see how that affects oil availability and pricing. You can follow for more news, but you don't have to.
Trump threatening to not buy used cooking oil from China is really hitting him where it hurts. Trump saying that China is being economically hostile by not buying U.S. soybeans. After Chinese soybean buyers told American farmers you're fired because your product is too expensive, thanks to Trump's tariffs, they went and found other places to buy soybeans. It wasn't personal, Donnie. It was business. This was sort of China's FAFO after you thought you were king of the world and everybody was just going to do what you say. And now Trump's got a whole bunch of angry soybean farmers who voted for him, who have a whole bunch of soybeans that haven't been sold thanks to his tariffs, and he's got to promise retribution to gain political points with them. The only question is, does Trump mean the $30 million worth of new cooking oil we import from China? Or does he mean the used cooking oil that we haven't been importing since the spring because of the 125% tariff he put on it? So Trump's threatening that we're going to stop buying something that we haven't been buying all year in order to hurt China, who's already found new buyers for the thing that we're not buying.
Trump is threatening China over cooking oil. I find this both funny and a little pathetic actually. Trump wrote on social media, "I believe that China purposefully not buying our soybeans, and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile act. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of trade as retribution." What's funny is that it's not even the regular cooking oil from China. It's actually called used cooking oil, the waste oil that can be turned into renewable diesel. Countries like the Netherlands, Singapore, Spain, and Malaysia have been processing hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Chinese used oil for years. US imports, on the other hand, only surged in 2023 because of federal subsidies for biofuels and a rush to build renewable diesel plants. And it's also sad the used cooking oil trade is tiny compared to soybeans. Last year, US importing 1.27 million metric tons was 1.1 billion US dollars. Meanwhile, China imported 22 million tons of US soybeans, worth 12 billion US dollars last year. So clearly, this isn't about helping American farmers. It's just Trump trying to look tough for the sake of looking tough. I'm Kelly Tang. Talk to you later.
I'm no economist, but this choice seems to be really odd. Like cooking oil, by the way, it's used cooking oil. Like for the whole year, US probably import like less than $500 million used cooking oil from China. Okay. But what's that for? This used cooking oil is to transfer into fuel so that it can be used by truck, airplane, energy. Basically, it's energy. Which means if China don't export, it can be just transferred into energy. And every country need endless energy. So not buying it just wouldn't mean anything. I don't know. Odd choice.
After publicly expressing his frustration of China not buying US soybeans, Trump is considering cutting trade ties with China on things such as cooking oil. Just a bit ago, Trump took to Truth Social and said, "I believe that China purposely not buying our soybeans and causing difficulty for our soybean farmers is an economically hostile attack. We are considering terminating business with China having to do with cooking oil and other elements of trade as retribution." Trump said that he would not be worried about this as he believes the US could easily produce its own cooking oil. However, it is not yet confirmed whether Trump will act on these threats or not. After all, last Friday, Trump did threaten 100% tariffs on China after they announced rare earth mineral export restrictions that would be in effect on November 1st, but he did walk that back on Sunday. As things stand, Trump's 145% tariffs on Chinese imports are being held until November 10th. Tariffs on timber and wooden products like furniture have been enacted as of today on October 14th.
It seems like whether I have a retirement account is coming down to soybeans. Please, China, buy our soybeans. Okay, but on a serious note, the market was recovering relatively well. Then Trump puts out a tweet about soybeans and cooking oil and China. The market took a little bit of a hit. Everyone's freaking out, to be honest, but I think there are some good signs. Powell also spoke today and said that the September rate cut was a good decision, and I think this sets us up for another rate cut in October. US Treasury 2-year looks decently good too. And right, these spike in anticipation of risk. And I don't know, maybe it's possible we have the price recovery we did the last 2 times here. I'm still a little bit risk off. I've only been nibbling the last few days. I want to wait and see what happens until I go more risk on. But I'm liking Webull here. I think it's setting up nicely. American Airlines, which I called out last week. And I like Rivian for the same reason. This is the monthly. You can see it's up on the 3-month, really just coming back to this support level. If we get another leg down, we get another leg down, but I really do think the most likely situation is that this all gets resolved by the end of the month, which really just gives us less than 2 weeks. And once that's settled, we'll go back to all-time highs and maybe even more. Again, no crystal ball, and I'm staying risk off for now, but I do think that is probably the most likely thing to happen.
Trump just made a post on Truth Social and talking about China purposely stopped buying American soybeans and that it's an economically hostile act. Then he threatened to stop buying cooking oil from China. I am here to help you to understand what he's actually talking about. Let's break it down. First, China used to be the biggest buyer of U.S. soybeans. Most of the soybeans are for cooking oils or for animals, cows and pigs and chickens, all that kind of stuff. This is not hostility. That's economics. This is capitalism, which American politicians love it until it doesn't work in their favor. When you tax and threaten your main customer, they move to another suppliers. That's how free trade works. Now, you probably already know, but Trump didn't mention the U.S. Treasury recently approved about $20 billion of financial package for Argentina. Political aid to, disguise as economic support. Basically, the U.S. want Milei to stay in place, and that's why they give him the money. Right after that, Argentina cut export tax on soybeans, and China immediately bought around 20 ships of Argentine soybeans, which carry about 65,000 tons. So U.S. taxpayers' money ended up helping Argentina undercut U.S. farmers. This logic is just mind-blowing. This is not foreign victory. This is self-inflicted damage. Now the cooking oil thing. The U.S. does not really buy cooking oil from China. It buys used cooking oil, waste oil, grease, connected from restaurants to make biodiesel, jet fuels, and those oils powers trucks and planes, not really kitchens. The reality is the trade war does not really hurt China's government. They hurt American farmers. They hurt the same working class who voted for him. And because they believe that he was fighting for them. And every time when working class hurt, it is always the government's fault. It's incompetence of the government. The social dynamic or the social antagonism is always between the ordinary working class people and the government. If the people hurt, it's government's fault. So you don't have to blame left and right or that kind of culture, or that kind of crap. It's government's incompetence. Anyway, I have more videos like this on Substack, link in bio, or visit grumpychinese.com. Thank you. Take care.
So apparently, Trump woke up one morning, looked at the bottle of Chinese-made cooking oil, and decided that's the problem of America. According to his latest rant, China refusing to buy U.S. soybean is an insult and a direct attack on America. His solution is we'll stop buying their cooking oil. You can't make this up. The irony is China is one of the world's biggest importers of soybeans, and those soybeans often go right back into producing the very cooking oil Trump is now threatening to boycott. So, if he actually follows through, it's not just China that loses. It's American farmers, manufacturers, and of course, consumers who pay the price when grocery store prices shoot through the roof. And the markets, they didn't wait for the frying pan to cook up or to cool off. Wall Street reacted faster than you can say tariff. Stocks took a dip, particularly in the agricultural and food manufacturing sector. Big agribusinesses like Kajil, Archer, Daniels, Midland, and Tyson Foods are already feeling the heat. Investors are spooked because every time Trump opens his mouth about trade, the Dow seems to take a nosedive. Economists are warning that this could trigger another ripple effect across global trade. A reminder that Trump's trade wars aren't just tough talks, they are expensive. And let's not forget, China isn't exactly trembling at the thought of losing American cooking oil orders. They've got deals with Indonesia, Malaysia, and even Russia to fill the gap. Meanwhile, America's soybean farmers, who already faced massive losses during Trump's first trade war, are once again caught in the crossfire. You would think after the last round of tariffs and farm bailouts, we would have learned our lesson, but apparently not. Trump's idea of winning in trade seems to be like setting your own kitchen on fire just to prove you don't need your neighbor's matches. And what happens if he follows through? Well, buckle up. Analysts predict higher food prices, more market instability, and possible layoffs in the farming and manufacturing industries. The American economy, already wobbling from inflation and global supply issues, could take another hit. So why Trump frames this as standing up to China? The reality is he's once again punching holes in America's own economy. You can almost hear farmers muttering, "Here we go again." At the end of the day, the question isn't whether Trump will actually stop buying Chinese cooking oil. It's whether America can survive another round of his economic implosiveness. And because every time he gets stuff, it's regular Americans who end up paying the bills. But what do you think? Do you believe Trump's cooking oil threat is about patriotism or just about publicity stunts to, rile up his base? Can America really afford another trade war with China, especially with the economy still trying to stabilize? And here's the big one. How many times do Trump supporters need to get burned before they realize he's the one turning up the heat? Drop your thoughts on the comment section. Let's talk about it. And as always, don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe for more truth with a little sarcasm on the side. Now, until next time, stay informed and maybe check the price of cooking oil before your next grocery run, okay? You see what I mean, actually. I'll see you on my next video. Credit belongs to original creators. And thank you, guys.